Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Guys, you may be a bit confused thinking, okay, how come this is a more like trading sort of finance video? And that is basically because you may notice that I have two channels. One for my more like fun sort of stuff, and this one being my other one where there's a lot more mature audience. And I thought, what do people want to do when they mature? And that is obviously make money. And I thought, I'm actually somebody who has succeeded in making money at a young age, and I thought maybe I can share some of those tips with you, how I done it, how you can do it, and basically just talk them through. So basically, I'm going to be explaining how I made my first $100,000, okay? From start to finish. And I genuinely believe after all of this and making that money, that you guys can do it too. I believe that anybody can do it as long as they put the work in. So if you guys are looking to increase your finances, I would advise to keep watching. So I'm going to be splitting this video into 3 parts, and that is the initial start of getting the funds. Once you have the funds and what to do with them, and how to maximize the profits through different investments. The first thing you need to be able to make money and invest money and do all these things is actually have money, of course. Now, this doesn't need to be a large amount of money. This just needs to be a little bit of money, maybe $1,000, $5,000, any sort of figure. To see any real differences, I would recommend over like £500, $500, just so you can kind of see some real profit going on. Although you really can do this with $10 or £10 and just work out really, really slowly, if that is all you have. Now, the good thing about this is that can be acquired through anything, working in a cafe, helping around the house, doing the lawn mowing, literally anything. That's the great thing with this world, is as long as you have money, any sort of money, any amount, you can grow that figure. Now, personally, as a lot of you guys will know, I got my initial funds through YouTube, through the thing you're watching on right now. This is how I got my initial funds. Thankfully, 2 years ago, I started my YouTube stuff, and I began to get paid around $3,000, $4,000 a month, and this is actually when I found out about trading. So I found out at the perfect time. I was making money, and I was interested in trading, investments, and all that stuff, and I just wanted to grow my initial funds into something bigger. Now, an interesting fact is a lot of people who I actually know will say about me that the only reason why I get paid is through YouTube. That's why people think I have a little bit of money just through YouTube, when really the actual facts are my YouTube revenue only actually equates to 20% of my payment per month. Now, people would say 100% of his money comes just from YouTube, when no, that is not true. Actually, 20% does, and the rest is from trading, investments, and all this other stuff which you guys are going to learn today. It's all about utilizing these sources to make more money. Now, like I said, I was getting a few $1,000s from YouTube a month, and I was saving this all up. I had it in an account, and you can actually have certain accounts which make a higher percentage by just having your money in there, but it wasn't enough. I wanted to make more money from the money I already made using these sources. Here is a screenshot with my months on YouTube, I think from back in 2018, where I made £8,000, which equates to about $10,000. Now, I took this whole amount of money and used it to invest. Now, again, like I said, you can do this with any amount of money. It could be $1,000, $10,000, $5,000. Just the smaller you are, it will take longer to get to the bigger figures, which is fine. It just takes longer, but you will eventually get there. So there's no excuse not to do this. Now, once you have those initial funds, it is now time to move on to step 2. Now, step 2 consists of your first investment. Now, back then, 2 years ago, I thought, okay, what is the easiest investment I can make? I got researching, and I found out that all my friends were doing this thing called Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. There's thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, and the biggest one was Bitcoin at the time. I think valuing about £4,000, £5,000 per Bitcoin. Now, like I said, there's loads of cryptocurrencies you can invest in, for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and a bunch of others. Now, straight away, I didn't invest. Now, I could go on all day talking about these cryptocurrencies, but the one we're going to be talking about today is the biggest, and the one used by most people, and that is Bitcoin. Currently, the worth of one Bitcoin is £7,400. Now, this fluctuates rapidly daily. Within minutes, it can drop or rise hundreds of pounds, or dollars, depending on what currency you are in. Now, once I saved up this initial $10,000, I thought, how can I invest? Like, where do I go? Do I go to my PC, my Mac, my phone? I didn't know where to go. Then I came across an app called Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is an app which allows you to buy Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies, but just cryptocurrencies. Now, as you guys can see on screen, I've opened up a new account to show you guys basically what you see when you download Coinbase on your device. So you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and the other cryptocurrencies which I was telling you guys about. Now, again, Bitcoin is the one we're going to be looking at, and what I've done with my initial $10,000 is I clicked all, and I basically sussed out the market for the past 3-4 years by looking at the graph and how it's gone up, how it's gone down. And as you can see, when I was looking at it a few years ago, the price of Bitcoin was £4,450. Now, this was a bit of a risk because this is basically an all-time high from when I was looking at it, but after my research, I decided to invest, and I spent the whole $10,000 on buying Bitcoin, which gave me about 2 whole Bitcoins. Now, a few months after this, the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed to 15.5k. Now, this is the best possible time you could have taken your money back out and sold your Bitcoin. Now, if I'd done this would have given me a profit per Bitcoin of £11,400, meaning I just profited just over £22,000 within a few months from just investing $10,000 in Bitcoin. Now, remember, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy parts like 0.333 of a Bitcoin, which might be, I don't know, £100, and it still goes up and down. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. Although the facts are, I didn't cash out a 15.5k. I cashed out right here £12,000, which still means I profited £8,000 pounds per Bitcoin. And I bought 2 of those, which means I profited 16,000 pounds. Now, as you guys can see, Bitcoin then went to fall down to 2,600 pounds in February, and this is when I invested again. Now, with the 20,000 pounds the account, I then went and bought another 6 Bitcoins, 6 whole Bitcoins for 2,600 pounds, which was a great time to invest, obviously, because it's super, super low. As you guys can see from the chart before, it's a great time to invest just by looking at the chart. And once Bitcoin once again inevitably rose to 8,800 pounds, as you guys can see on the graph, I then cashed out again because I wasn't sure if it was going any higher because it was kind of staying the same for a little while, making me another 6,000 pounds per 6 of those Bitcoins, which equals another profit of 36,000 pounds in profit, which brings us to the figure of 51,000 pounds currently in the Coinbase account, ready to invest into Bitcoin or even other cryptocurrencies when I see them drop. But preferably Bitcoin, because that seems like that's where the most margin is. Basically what I'm saying is, if the value of one Bitcoin falls below something like 2,000, 3,000 pounds, I am personally investing all that money back in, ready to go, and basically go again in a few months. And as you guys can probably see, the figure gets bigger and bigger the more you invest and the more Bitcoins you buy. But obviously it's an investment, so once again, the more money you invest, the bigger risk it is, equals bigger return. And that is how I got from $10,000 to $60,000 or 8,000 pounds to 50,000 pounds. To be honest, Bitcoin investments could make me $100,000 alone, the title of this video. Although we're going to go a step further onto part 3 to show you how to put yourself over that $100,000 line through a different investment. If you guys are enjoying the video so far, I would appreciate if you guys could leave a like and subscribe if you're into this sort of stuff. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into part 3. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you for getting to part 3. But also, if you do get this far in your finances, this is where I could potentially save you a lot of money. Now, this next investment is called Forex Trading. It's basically about trading currencies. Kind of like Bitcoin, buying when it's low and selling when it's high, and then taking the profit from the middle. Although this time, you're not buying any cryptocurrencies. You're actually buying real life currencies like dollars, euros, actual currencies going on the pound, like actual currencies going on in countries, GBP, like you name it. You can buy every single currency. It's basically like going on a holiday when you change up your dollars for pounds or pounds for dollars or whatever you're going. I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. Now, the Forex market is very, very hard to predict. And there's people out there who actually can predict it very, very well. And instead of spending years and years and years researching it before you even think of investing, you can actually buy people's programs. I know a few great ones, which I will link below, where basically you follow people's investments. So you have one main guy who knows exactly what he's doing. He's made loads of money. You'll see all his past and history and if he's done well and if he's done bad to make sure it's not a scam. And normally, if you're even looking at them, they have done pretty well. And if you're happy with the investment he's making, you go ahead and do the exact same thing as him. Maybe with a small amount of money, with a more amount of money, but you basically copy his investment because obviously he's the guy who knows the market. But then obviously you do owe him a small fee for his expertise, which makes sense. Now remember, this is one of the biggest online markets. Trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds and dollars are traded every single day. Like, it's enormous. The reason why people like it so much is because arguably it is the best place to take your smaller money and transfer it into something big. Personally, from my experience, I see the profit margins are all kind of the same. And you might be able to guess that I have more experience in Bitcoin. That's why I prefer to stick to that. Although my first $100,000, a good $10,000 of that came from Forex trading. Now, here's what I mean by I can save you a lot of money. The website I used for this was Plus 500. They do loads of things. They do gold, Bitcoin, like we've already spoke about, dollars to euros, euros to pounds, all of that stuff. And I took the massive risk back then, not really knowing 100% what I was doing. And I invested every single penny of that, what I've made so far, into Forex. Now, this could have gone the complete opposite way, which obviously would have been terrible. But thankfully, I put the dollar from GBP, which rose 8%, making me about £5,000. And then obviously I converted it back and got the profit from that. But the fact that I had to invest so much money to get so little is kind of, but then again, because I'm investing so much into such a secure thing, there's more chance of me actually getting it back and not really losing it like there is a Bitcoin. You can invest all your money into Bitcoin and it could just fall to nothing and stay at nothing for years. But the chances of that are very, very slim looking at the graphs in the past. One thing I will say, if you do invest in Forex trading, I would say either be following somebody who is really good and has an amazing record, or research the market for a while before you even thinking of investing, because a lot of people just go straight into it and lose loads of money because they don't really know what they're doing. Kind of like I did. But like I said, I invested in something which had quite a high chance of staying the same or doing better or a little bit worse. So even if it did go down, I wouldn't lose too much money. I hope that makes sense to you guys. There's so much more to talk about with Forex, although you'll go on forever. And quite frankly, I have to do it in a different video. But after bringing me to about £60,000, $70,000, I then went back to Bitcoin and done some stuff on there, as well as the YouTube revenue coming in over the past few months of doing those transactions. It finally landed me on the big $100,000, which is insane. It was a great achievement for myself, and I thought I'd go ahead and make a video on it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, let me know by leaving a like and subscribe. Go ahead, feel free to comment if you guys want me to do more of these videos. I find them super, super fun. I've got a bunch of other ideas I can do on this finance stuff. For example, some great investments, the worst investments, my biggest losses, my biggest highs. I'm sure you guys understand. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the future. Have an amazing day and peace. Thanks, guys.